trade, and some people just came because they were not only explorers, they were people that could chart maps by the stars. And when you speak of 6 and 7 generations, that's a long time ago, years ago. And Charlotte's family, on one side, is part of the Underground Railroad that when we were brought over in the, say, the 1700s, that we were enslaved people. Plantation owner owned us like cattle. They owned us like a piece of paper or like a book. We were owned by those people. We were purchased with our blood. We had to work. We had to do work. Where we didn't understand the language, I could speak a language that I was taught that no one in here would understand but me, and maybe somebody else that was taught the same language. So when the African came here, they had no knowledge of the language. Somebody could be telling them, I want you to do this. If they didn't show them how to do it, they couldn't do it. My people came through the slave trade. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of any part of it, whether it's the white part, the native part, or the African part. But what most people see on me is my African, and that's what I say I am. And I'm sure there's no purebreds in here. We've all got something mixed within us. Another culture or another nationality, we all have that. So today, I'm going to take you on a little trip that I had my forefathers told me about. And I'll be doing some singing and some acting. And I'll try to do it slow so that you have, at the end, questions, and I can hopefully answer them. Now the church, when I show you different parts of the church later on, you will see what I'm speaking of when I speak of how we were hidden. And Miss Charlotte is going to tell you her excursion, how she happened, that her forefathers happened to get here, especially one of her great-grandmother, Carolyn Quarles. When you think of generations, there's me, my mother and dad, their 2 parents on both sides, and then their parents. And it just goes on and on and on. So, Miss Charlotte, please continue. I have a journey. I have a journey.
Well, I'm very, very glad to see everyone here today. I am so happy to be able to tell you about how I got here. All of you here have a story about how you got here. Is this the multicultural group? Well, all of you have a story. Who here, besides the little children possibly, was born in Canada? Can I see those hands? Oh my goodness, how many is that? 2, 3, 3, 4? 4 people were born in Canada. Well, then you know, does everyone here speaks or has a knowledge of English? Everybody here. Okay. Every time I speak to someone, they say, well, how did you get here? I bet you every one of you here has a story about how you got here. Some may have come on an airplane, a boat. Some people, you had to come on an airplane or a boat. But everyone has a story. And often, when I am speaking, they'll say, Charlotte, how did you get to Canada? Not me particularly, but my family, my great-grandparents and everything. How did Well, I'm going to tell you a story about how I got here, but I'll have to shorten it because it's made into a book, and I can't turn the pages and everything. So I'm going to tell you how I got here. Very short story. One day, my great-grandmother was a